Chapter 8. Walking to the skate park sucked. It took her 3 times as long to get there, and she had sweat spots starting in her armpits. Not the best look, but she'd seen worse at the park. A homeless guy once walked around the park peeing on everything for 2 days before the police finally chased him off. Gotta love the big city. She had spent the morning washing the blinds and doing laundry. A lot of laundry. Maddie had only escaped during Caroline's after-lunch meetings. That also just happened to be the time when Quinn watched her shows and Emily practiced piano. All Maddie had needed to do was carry the clean laundry up to her room, put on some loud music, and sneak back down and out the door. Easy. So why did her stomach churn all the way to the skate park? Thankfully, the feeling disappeared the moment she stepped through the gate. Kit sat in their usual spot, arms thrown casually over the back of the bench, whistling a tune Maddie didn't know. He jumped up and gave Maddie a hug the minute he saw her. She hugged him back, feeling some of the tension drain away. He was still her best friend, no matter the issues hanging between them. "I'm sorry, Joker." He didn't let her go. For what? He held her away from his face, eyes serious. "For coming to your house and arguing with your mom. I know it didn't help anything. It was stupid. I was just worried about you." She shrugged. "It's okay." Everyone overreacted. His hands fell to his sides. "Yeah, moms do that. How did you convince Sergeant Mom to let you come here?" "I snuck out." "What?" Kit pumped a fist in the air. "Go, Joker. We'll turn you into a rebel trans yet." Maddie ignored him and looked around. "Where's Unique?" "She'll be here." He flopped back down on the bench. "When?" "I don't have long before my mom figures out I'm gone." It was Kit's turn to shrug. "A few minutes at most." "Want to take a ride on my board while we wait?" Maddie glanced at the blue skateboard, stomach aching to feel the pull at the bottom of the half pipe or the flutter after gaining air. "Really? I know you must be dying to get on a board." Kit grabbed his helmet from the bench and threw it at her. "Go for it." It took her less than a minute to strap on Kit's safety gear and push off on his board. Kit loved his board, so his offer was a testament to the strength of their friendship. The familiar vibrations under her feet as she got the board moving made her grin with a relief that felt hot on her skin. 3 days and she was already going through withdrawals. She loved the non-judgmental challenge skateboarding presented. It pushed her, excited her. For brief moments of speed along the pavement or falling through the air, skateboarding set her free. On the board, she didn't have to be alone or trans or sister or daughter. She could just be. Maddie didn't head straight for the half pipe, even though she wanted to. Instead, she made a circuit of the park first. She sped up and down a raised ramp, legs bending with the board, not fighting it, just flowing to keep it moving and stay planted on the surface. Shifting her weight for the descent, she turned the board and shot toward a rail. She kicked the board up, leaping with it onto the rail. The metal axles of the board cried out as they smacked against the rail and slid forward. She wobbled, but rode it to the end where she kicked off and rolled into the pit. The dip sent her stomach into another frenzy. She whooped, weaving around other skaters like they were traffic cones. On the far side of the pit, Maddie stalled on the edge with a classic rock to fakie, then rolled back down and up the other side where she stepped off the board and grabbed it in one smooth motion. She smiled, the familiar adrenaline riling her system. Her eyes fell on the half pipe. Would she be able to do a kickflip with a different board? It was time to find out. She ran to the stairs and took them 2 at a time. Suddenly, it felt like she was running out of time. Another boarder finished his run as Maddie reached the top and stepped up to the edge. "All yours," he said. Maddie balanced Kit's board on the edge and held it with her foot. Blood rushed in her ears. Her fingers prickled with anticipation. This was it. She was going to do it. She took a deep breath and pushed off. The ground rushed up at her, ready to rip her skin, smash her skull, but the wheels of the board shot her forward along the curve of the wood planks. She felt the extra drag of her body toward the ground. The wheels squealed on the wood as the half-pipe rose again. At the top, the front of the board left the wood. Maddie shifted her weight and twisted her feet to bring the board back around. Down the planks and back up the other side. This time, the board left the pipe completely, climbing into the air, but not high enough. She twisted around again, bending her knees to stay with the board as the wheels slapped the wood. Wind stung her face as she sped along the half-pipe. Again, she flew into the air, leaving the wood planks behind. It would work this time. She knew it had to work this time. She shifted her feet and pushed one end of the board down sharply, starting its spin. The blue waves on the bottom of the board, Kit's board, flashed underneath her. Kit's board, not Rand's board. Not her board. Kit's board thumped the edge of her foot, stopping its arc and leaving it upside down when Maddie toppled onto the walkway at the top of the half-pipe. She hit with her feet spread to avoid the board. Her knees buckled, but she fell on her knee pads and stopped. She heard a yell from down below. "Joker?" She did a quick mental check, but nothing felt broken, just bruised. At least she hadn't lost more skin from her face this time. "I'm okay. Be down in a sec." Once her heart stopped trying to escape her chest, she stood, picked up Kit's board, and limped back down the stairs. Her legs were already proclaiming their abuse by the time she reached the bottom. "The kickflip, and you do not get along." Kit slid her arm over his shoulders and helped her hobble toward their bench. "No, we do not." She limped most of the way back to their bench before she noticed the person standing next to it. The black woman was taller than Maddie by a few inches and had long blonde hair that nearly brushed her hips. She wore a bedazzled denim jacket over a purple blouse and bedazzled jeans. The woman was plump in a casual, familiar way, but she held herself with a confidence Maddie could only dream about. The woman bustled up to Maddie and helped Kit steer her toward the bench. "Oh, darling, are you okay?" "Just a little bruised." "You must be unique." "I am indeed one of a kind, honey. I'm so glad we finally get to meet. Kit talks about you all the time." A familiar pain flared in Maddie's chest. Each proof of Kit's new life struck her like a falling rock. She hated them for taking Kit away from her, but she knew it wasn't their fault. Unique didn't pull Kit away. Maddie had pushed her friend away herself. She'd let her fear lock her away in a room of doubt and shame. Kit hadn't done that, so he'd been able to find a place in the world. A place that didn't need Maddie. And it was her fault. Maybe she could still fix it. "I'm sorry I didn't get to meet you at the rally." "How did your dance go?" Unique sat elegantly down beside her as Kit plopped down in his regular spot. "That was one of the best performances I have ever done, if I do say so myself." Unique gave a heady laugh that made Maddie smile. "Maddie, I have to say, you are quite the skateboarder." Maddie grimaced. "Yeah, so good I biff it every time I try a simple kickflip." Unique waved the comment away. "Do you know how many times I mess up learning a new dance?" "A lot. Doesn't matter. In the end, you just gotta pick yourself up and show the world and yourself that you don't back down." "Yeah." Her legs throbbed painfully. "If I could just get my hands on a smaller board, I know it would work." "Darling, I don't know much about skateboarding, but even I can see that the board ain't the problem. Your head's getting in your way, not the board." Maddie just shrugged. Why did people keep telling her that? They weren't up there with her. They didn't know how she felt up there, how close she always was to finishing the trick. The board just refused to spin right. A smaller board would work. She knew it would. "Found it," Kit said. "Maddie, want to watch Unique dance?" No, Unique said quickly. "Not with me around. I hate watching other people watching my videos. It is the one thing that almost makes me nervous." "Fine." Kit sighed. Maddie laughed. "I know I wouldn't want people watching me dance." "What about boarding?" Kit asked slyly. That made her pause. "Boarding's different. I don't want people to watch me, but I can't stop them either." Unique gave her a serious look. "Darling, you don't seem anywhere near as unhappy as Kit made you out to be." "What gives?" The pain bubbled over, and she felt the darkness cinch around her guts. She shot Kit a deadly glare. "I'm always happy when I skate. The big black woman nodded. And the rest of the time? Okay, so they were getting down to business. Great. I hurt. I feel like a cat wearing a dog's fur. I know what I am supposed to do, but nothing feels right. She stopped, too scared to share anymore. How could Unique understand the darkness? She wouldn't. Maddie was alone. Unique nodded solemnly. I know Kit has talked to you about transitioning enough already. My question is, what is holding you back? You know you're meant to be something else. Why do you resist your true self? I don't know. Are you afraid of what other people will think of you? Because I can tell you for sure that you'll realize their opinion doesn't matter. I don't think that's it. I mean, it can't feel any worse than how different I feel now. I am not worried about other people. Other than her mom and sisters, Maddie could care less what other people thought of her. She did worry about what her mom would think of her, but she knew Emily and Quinn would love her no matter what. Her mom might hate her, but even that wouldn't stop Maddie if she knew transitioning would help the pain. Are you worried about the surgery? Maybe. I don't know. Unique put up one finger to stop her. Saying I don't know is for cowards, and honey, I can tell you aren't a coward by the way you went after that skating trick. Tell yourself the truth. What is holding you back? Maddie flushed. She wanted to be angry, but Unique was right. She was being a coward. There was only one thing holding her back. There had only ever been one thing in the way of her moving in the same direction Kit was. She had to take a few deep breaths before she could say it. What if it doesn't help? It came out in a whisper, but Unique heard. Kit didn't, though. What, Joker? Unique ignored him, focused solely on Maddie. It will help. You aren't you right now. Never have been. Transitioning will help you be you. We were all born with the ability to change. History has shown that 1,000 times over. Some allies will tell you that surgery is just a physical thing, that you are a man and have always been a man because that is your reality. But that is not completely true. You are a man in mind, but your body needs to catch up to your true self. Change is necessary and good. Kit looked at her then, eyes so sad she could barely stand it. Mads, I didn't know. Maddie choked back a sob, and suddenly more words came tumbling out. But what if changing my body isn't enough? Interacting with people isn't enough to make me feel more like them. Changing the pronouns I use doesn't change who I am or how different I feel. What if I get surgery, change my body, and nothing is different? What if I go through all that and I'm still me? She couldn't bring herself to say alone. She was a coward after all. She didn't dare look at Kit, but there were tears in Unique's eyes. The big woman pulled Maddie into a tight hug. Oh, darling, you've sunk down into the depths of despair. You don't even know up from down anymore, do you? Maddie just squeezed her tighter. Listen, I know what you need. Not to get religious, but you need your faith restored. What? Maddie pulled back, confused. Unique was starting to sound like John. You need to get active so you can see the magic that happens by living your best life. How do I do that? I already went to a rally. Maddie didn't want to go through another disaster like that. She wanted Rand's board back. Kit put his arm around Maddie's shoulders. What devilish plan is going through that head of yours, Unique? The woman smiled and batted her eyelashes at him. You know it's a good one. It comes from Unique after all. Well, my little joker, there just so happens to be a protest for trans rights happening on Saturday. Southbridge University is hosting a panel about allowing trans women on their basketball team. We are going to meet there and show the university what type of community they are dealing with. Kit slugged Maddie on the arm. That's perfect. Maddie remembered the surging crowd at the rally as they converged on the sign holders. She didn't want to be part of something like that. I don't know. You gotta push out of yourself somewhere, honey, if you want to see where you fit. Kit leaned forward to look her in the eyes. Kat told me about what happened at the rally. This won't be the same. The protest is in a building. We are going there to talk to a committee about the rules. No craziness at all. The darkness pulsed inside of her. She would do anything to make the pain go away. Her gut squirmed at the thought of going to a protest, but she was running out of options. She didn't want to be alone anymore. Okay, I'll come. Great, Unique said, standing up. I must go, but I want you to know how proud I am that you are taking action. You'll see that truth is winning in this world. All you need to do is let yourself live it. The big woman swooped in, wrapping both Maddie and Kit in a tight hug. She held them for longer than Maddie felt comfortable, then winked and sauntered off through the park. Unique was definitely hard to miss. She collected stares like Maddie's dresses collected dust. See? Kit said, smug. I told you Unique could help you. Yeah, Maddie's phone buzzed. Oh. Mom, why in the world are you at the skate park? You are not supposed to be out of the house. Get home now. Scrap. Kit was looking at the text, too. Busted. I gotta go. Maddie pulled Kit's pads off and shoved them into his bag. Listen, Joker. I'll come get you the day of the protest, okay? I can borrow my dad's car. The idea of Kit behind the wheel made her nervous. He was not a good driver. Why the car? We can just take the bus. He shook his head. I'm not sure how well the bus schedules will match up with the panel. It will be way simpler to drive. Okay, just don't come to the door. Text and I will come out. Your mom still peeved? Her phone rang with an incoming call. It was her mom. She ended the call and shot a quick text that she was on her way home. Her mom didn't call unless she was fuming. Their fight would be one for the record books. Gotta go. She hugged Kit and hurried toward the street. By the time she made it to the gate out of the park, Kit had caught up with her. Joker, can I walk with you? If my mom sees you, she won't. I won't go all the way to your house. He looked nervous and couldn't hold her gaze. Something was up. Okay. Kit smiled in thanks and linked arms with her. Now Maddie smiled. They hadn't walked together like this in ages. It still felt familiar, though, like riding a skateboard. It didn't matter how long she went in between rides, she could simply set the board down and go. Linking arms with Kit helped her forget for a moment that she was alone and hurting and scared. Walking together, she was just Maddie, and he was just Kit. Then he spoke. I need to tell you something. Scrap. What else was about to sledgehammer her life? It must be bad for you to walk me home and risk the ire of Sergeant Mom. Kit bit his lip and looked at the ground. Maddie, I didn't realize how much pain you are in. You have enough to worry about, but her heart did an ollie in her chest. It's okay. Just tell me. He ran a hand through his hair and didn't speak until they crossed through the intersection. My parents approved the surgery. Maddie froze in the middle of the sidewalk. Holy frack! Words spilled from Kit's mouth faster than a downhill wipeout. I know we talked about doing it together when we turn 18, and I was totally good for that because I thought my parents would never get on board anyway. Then they started coming around and I started dating Kat and everything just snowballed. Do you hate me? Darkness squeezed her chest as the world stopped. No, this couldn't be happening. She was alone. How could he do this to her? Kit could move on to other friends and change pronouns, but as long as they were both girls in body, Maddie had their connection to hang on to. But once Kit was well and truly a boy, there was no turning back and no one left to save her from the darkness. Mads. Kit was looking at her, worried. I need to get home. She pulled her arm free and turned away. Kit grabbed her wrist, pulling her back. Mads, I'm sorry, but you need to understand. I have to do this. Maddie wrenched her arm away. Tears streamed down her face. I know. You need to escape the pain. Then she ran.